Hello, hello. Thank you guys for joining me, your girl Iris, on another Critics Collective. Today we are going to be talking Kardashian Season 7, Episode 7. Now, this episode was very serious, at least in my opinion. Of course, everything I share is my opinion, you guys. Um, but it was basically more about the trial more than anything else. And, what Kim had dealt with, I think, what was it, about 9 years ago when she was robbed in Paris and things like that. And when the whole situation had happened 9 years ago, I had learned bits and pieces, like just high level, like, okay, Kim, she was robbed at her hotel. She lost all her jewelry. That was it. That was the most that I knew about it. I didn't really dive deep into it. Because I would say about 9 years ago, I mean, I've watched almost all of the Keeping Up with the Kardashian, and then when the new show started, of course, I watched it, but I didn't dig as deep into certain stories as I do now because, of course, your girl's doing Critics Collective, so she's got to talk to you about this stuff. But this episode where they really take you in step by step on what happened. I don't give a shit what anyone says. That shit is fucking scary. And not only about, oh, like, oh shit, I was robbed. It's, you know, someone has a gun. You don't know if you're gonna die, you know. And my first thought, at least if something like that, if I would have been in that situation, would have been like, oh my God, my child is gonna be without her mother. Like I don't want my child to grow up like that without her mom, you know? Um, that would be my first thought, because I don't want nobody else taking care of my baby but me. And then second, of course, is the thought of being raped. Like that is so scary for any woman, and when a situation like that is happening, you don't know if, oh, am I gonna die? Or am I gonna be raped? Like, are they going to hurt me like this? And then it's like, even after it's over, God forbid, it's like the aftermath of the trauma and you're reliving it. You don't know if you're gonna end up with an infection that can be cured with medication, or you're gonna end up with an infection that stays with you for the rest of your life. That's scary too. It's like, because then it's like, oh, this person did this to me and now I'm stuck with this for the rest of my life. Or, God forbid, ending up pregnant from a person that, you know, uh, let me not dive. I I know I'm diving deep. I think, and I know that's not what happened to her. She didn't get raped, but that is just that's so scary. That is so I just, mm, you know, even though, like, and a lot of people who have watched this episode, with her friend that was staying in the other room, and people were like, oh, why didn't she do anything? What the fuck was she supposed to do? Like, I don't give a shit what anyone says. 9 years ago, yes, I understand. These gentlemen, they're older now. But during that time, some of them, they're old in the fact that now they're in their 50s. During the time that this happened, they may have been in their mid to late 40s. A man at that age can still overpower a woman. Even men in their 50s can still overpower a young woman. Like, what was she going to do? Other than, of course, the fact of, like, oh, you don't know how to, what's the 911 in Paris? Which, if you're going to travel out of the country anywhere, there are certain things you just need to be smart about. Like, what is the equivalent of 911 in the country I'm in? Where's the American embassy if they have one? You know, Where is the closest hospital or police station to where I'm going to be? Because you never know what could happen to you. And you think, oh, I'm in Paris. Beautiful Paris. That's okay. Just because you may be somewhere beautiful doesn't mean that your ass can't get got. And it's sad, but Kim learned that, you know? And I think it kind of helped humble her in a way. Not that, they're not all divas still, but I feel like it gave her a better perspective of the world a little bit. Like, just because you're a celebrity, just because you got bread, doesn't mean your ass can't get taken out, you know, in some way. Um, so I don't wish for something like that to happen to any woman ever, even to my worst enemy, you know. Maybe get your ass whooped, but but not, the fear of being murdered or raped or anything like that to happen to anyone, you know. Um, and I think the only part of that whole episode that I really had some pity remorse for was when they showed the older gentleman who was a part of the robbery. I guess he was the one that tied her up, who actually, I felt that he actually had real remorse for what he did. Um, because Kim was saying, like, he was the one that said, "Shh, you okay? Shh, you okay?" Like, hey, we're just taking stuff. No one's gonna hurt you. We're not gonna harm you. Like, I felt like that's what he was trying to say. And I feel like, you know how in movies there's always that one guy in the group that's actually a really good guy, but he's in a desperate situation. And then you got the crazy motherfucker that'll shoot everybody. I feel like the one who tied her up was that nice guy though. That is like, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want her to get hurt. I don't want you to hurt her or anybody here. That just take the stuff and let's get the fuck out. You know, and I think it's really big of Kim to say like, "Hey, I forgive them." It is what it is. What happened happened. I forgive them. I don't think they all deserved forgiveness. I mean, I did feel a little forgiveness toward the much older gentleman. I think he had the cane. But he looks old. Like, I don't know. But I don't know. I just that type of situation really, it hit me hard, like it was so relatable, like in the fact like, oh my God, if something like that were to happen to me, what would I do? And me, who's with my daughter all the time, like my daughter goes almost everywhere with me. If she's not with me, she's with my mom, sometimes she's with her dad, but mostly me and my mom. But most of the time, it's me. She's my daughter, my responsibility, she's mine. So she's with me. So God forbid if something like that were to happen with my child there. Like, thankfully, none of the kids were with Kim because sometimes, kids go into a panic even worse than adults. And it could have even gotten worse. Like, one of them guys could have flipped his shit and I started shooting motherfuckers. Like, you don't know. Like, I really do wish Kim all the best in regards to this situation, like emotionally and mentally. Um, I'm glad like the whole trial part for her is over. I don't know if there's any other part, you know. I believe the sentencing was already done. So, like, I'm glad that's a part of her life she can finally move on from because I mean, like, fuck, 9 years. Something happened to you 9 years and you're now just going to trial for it because of the time it takes to build the evidence and investigate and just all this shit. And like, let me tell you, that process took forever. Like, that's crazy to me. But I am. I'm really glad that now her and her family are able to move past it. And for those people that like, oh, she staged it, she faked it. Like, don't get me wrong. There are celebrities out there that fake and stage the stupidest shit to get clout. But I don't I don't think she's that stupid to have done something like that. Even when it first happened, I was like, when people were like, "Oh, this is fake," like, I don't know. And it's like, here's your proof. Like 9 years later, here's the trial. We're at the trial. So no, this wasn't bullshit. This wasn't fake. Like, come on, people. But whatever. Anyways, please share with me, what are your thoughts in regards to this episode? Mainly the trial, and what you thought of how Kim handled it, especially when it came to dressing and wearing her jewelry. Like, psh, I don't give a shit, I'm still going in there looking fly. And even in regards to your thoughts regarding the best friend, do you really think she did everything she could to help Kim, or was she slacking? Mm, mm. But once again, guys, thank you so much for joining me on another Critics Collective. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next